Alright, today we're going to talk a little bit about financial planning and retirement. So financial planning is a huge thing to me. I really enjoy talking about it, so let's go ahead and jump right in. A few things that we're going to talk about today: debt, savings, investment, retirement. In order for you to start saving, you need to make sure, number one, you're debt free. Before you start investing, you need to make sure that you can follow a good savings plan. And before you even think about retiring, you need to have some kind of investment vehicle that your savings are in. And one exciting thing is that you can be a millionaire. You know, anybody can become a millionaire. Now you might have a little trouble seeing some of these numbers here, but if a person at age 21 starts saving, $3,000 a year, and does that for 6 continuous years, and leaves that money alone, by the time he's 65, he can have over $1 million. So that's really only $250 a month, a little over $8 a day. So it's possible. Everybody can do it. It just takes some discipline, planning, and we're going to talk a little bit about some of these things. So one big problem, though, in America is that most people are not ready to retire. 1 in 3 working class Americans have zero money saved for retirement. Now the average American only has $3,000 saved for retirement. It's kind of a scary thing for a family to only have $3,000 saved moving forward towards retirement. And less than 20% of Americans today feel comfortable with the money that they have saved to retire. So it's a real issue going on today that most Americans are not financially ready to retire. It's a big problem. Now I think there's a few causes for this. And the number one reason, I think, is people are uneducated. Most people don't know what Dow Jones is. What is the Dow Jones Industrial Average? Or what is the S&P 500? And I think a lot of this education, or uneducation for that matter, leads to fear. Fear in stock market crashes, fear of the unknown. And it pulls people away from investing. And that's a key part in your retirement. Another big problem is that a lot of people want to keep up with the neighbors, keep up with the Joneses. If you see your neighbor buy a nice fancy car, you're like, oh, let's go get a car like theirs. Even though that may not be within your means. So people always spend to keep up with the other person, and they always, a lot of times, will spend above what they make. So it's a big problem if people are hitting on these bottom two things. And if you are educated, it makes a world of a difference. But have no fear. You can retire safely. And the number one thing you have to do is educate yourself. Like I said before, there's always a fear of stock market crashes or the unknown. But that always is going to happen. There's always going to be a stock market crash, and nobody knows when it's going to happen. One of my favorite quotes is from Warren Buffett, is that when everybody else is fearful, he's greedy. And when everybody else is greedy, he's fearful. So even though the stock market crashes, that's the time to go in and start buying your investments, because you can get everything dirt cheap. People are fearful because of the stock market crash because they don't know what's going to happen. If you invest in a large company like General Electric, they will not go bankrupt overnight. It's a huge conglomerate, worldwide company, and you can be safe to invest your money in that company. So educate yourself about stocks, about financial markets, and it will definitely brighten your future up for retirement. Planning is another key portion to your retirement. You have a plan set in place to reach your end goal, whatever that may be, $1 million or more, And once you make that plan, you must stick to it. What good is a plan, if you don't use it at all? And then finally, I have needs versus wants. Now, this to me is a habit-forming motto. Every time you go out shopping, or you go with your spouse or significant other to purchase things, start making a habit of, do I really need this, or is this something that I want? These habits will slowly form, and over a long period of time, you'll find yourself making better purchase decisions. One thing also about Warren Buffett, one of my favorite people always like to talk about, is that he's lived in the house for the last 30 plus years. He could easily buy a new house, but does he need it? Does he want it? No. He's fine with where he is. He's had the same car for the last 8 years. So the average millionaire, for his example, billionaire, does not make purchases. They do not live above their means. They know their needs versus wants. Okay. Now, just in summary, real quick, a few things that we touched on. Be ready to retire. Be ready to retire. You never know when that may be. If you're 55 or 65 or 70, be ready. And you need to make a plan and stick to it in order to get there. You have to start early. You have to form those habits, and you need to educate yourself. The greatest invention in mankind is compound interest. It's a key to starting early and planning your retirement. Thank you.